Ladies and gentlemen, on Republic tonight, on This Is Exclusive, we bring you a big scoop. This is something that the American media should have put out in the first place. The death of Indian-American OpenAI whistleblower Suchir Balaji in his 20s, shrouded in mystery since November 2024 with glaring questions left unanswered. Was it suicide or was it murder? For the first time, Republic TV has accessed the crime scene video. It's coming out for the first time, and the visuals point out to a chilling possibility of foul play. It's a possibility. Tonight we have the video and the report that has been prepared by a forensic expert who has studied the crime scene, the state of Suchir's home in America, signs of a struggle, missing bullets, bloodstains, contradicting the initial suicide claim. Tonight, we lay bare the glaring inconsistencies in the probe as the San Francisco police reopen the case. No ordinary case, global spotlight on it. Here's the story, and then we have the forensic expert joining us with full video on Republic.
OpenAI whistleblower Suchir Balaji's death in November has been shrouded in mystery. Breaking their silence to Republic Media Network editor-in-chief Arnab Goswami, Suchir's mother had made startling revelations, hinting that her son may have been killed.
You know, my personal sorrow to both of you. And I think it's very brave of you to come on my program this evening, so thank you. Is there something that either of you would like to say at the start, please, regarding Suchir and how he was found dead?
That's very tragic and traumatic moment. I think it's little difficult for me to repeat that over and over again. But it was a couple of days since we were not hearing from him, and then we filed a police complaint and called the police to come and open the door, and that's how we found the truth. But unfortunately, we were not, as per the protocol, we were not allowed to go inside. We haven't received the pictures from the crime scene yet. And at this moment, it's a lot of questions in front of us. The fact that we have come here shows that he was very brave, and he was not backing off under any situation. He was extremely brave. What we feel is it doesn't really add up that the way he went public and he openly spoke about it, and he had a publication. Someone who's that bold cannot take these kind of steps. That's our first call.
Glaring inconsistencies have come to light in the probe into the OpenAI whistleblower's mysterious death, which the police in America quickly labelled as suicide within minutes. The mystery surrounding the death of Suchir Balaji took a new turn as the San Francisco Police Department and the coroner's office quietly updated the status of his case. Initially labelled as a closed suicide investigation, the case has now been reclassified as an open and active investigation. The San Francisco Police Department, however, is yet to release any further details about the new developments. And for the first time ever, Republic has accessed the video of the very crime scene. On your screens is a picture of Suchir's living room. The state of the room hints towards possible fighting or struggle which might have taken place at the time of the incident. This is Suchir's entry lobby, where the door handle remains intact, suggesting that it might be someone who Suchir knew behind his death. Not only that, an empty gun box was recovered from Suchir Balaji's residence. Watch how 6 bullets are missing from this box, which is supposed to comprise 44. Various items that need to be examined have not been included in the police inventory. Earbuds with bloodstains were also seen in these visuals accessed by Republic TV. Multiple bloodstains were also found on Suchir's bathroom alongside a wig-like material, which is yet to be examined, seen here lying on the floor, covered in blood. These are findings of a report shared by a forensic expert, which has now been made available to the Trump administration. Was it really suicide, or was Indian-American OpenAI whistleblower Suchir Balaji killed?
I have the forensic expert who prepared this report, Professor Dinesh Rao, joining us on the broadcast as we get you the breaking news update of what he finds. Looking at that video, let me get you the details of what he finds out. In fact, he says that Many aspects from the crime scene have not been investigated by the San Francisco police. Now, why was this not done? Why were earbuds left behind? Why were hair strands, huge chunks of hair left behind? Let me go across to Professor Dinesh Rao joining us on the broadcast. Professor Dinesh Rao, when you look at this video, or rather, when you studied it in detail, why don't you tell our viewers what comes to, what are the glaring loopholes that you see in this video? Loopholes from what the police claimed initially to what is seen in the video.
Niranjan, when all these photographs was given to me and is closely observed and analyzed, what reminds me is how the police came into a conclusion of so-called suicide. They have no substance to prove that this is suicide. Means they have not done a ballistic examination, and surprisingly, they have not even released the autopsy report. And besides, the crime scene examination was totally inadequate, it's incomplete and unscientific. Majority, as we have pointed out in those photographs, there is a big chunk of hair at two places. One is buried inside the cloth. There's a large pool of blood where it has been buried in the cloth, and another is been at the door corner. So it is a wig-like material or a hair-like material that need to be collected. It would have been a part of the inventory and it would have been studied and it would have been examined. That has not been done. And there is nearly around 5 places we saw big splatters of blood. And these splatters of blood are in different directions. And one is perpendicular, another is the spikes are showing in a different sides. And this again moves that the victim was been moving at a different areas of one particular region. And the disturbed the surroundings is something which is rarely seen in the cases of suicide. The other thing is, what we see is the door being damaged, the door wall, adjacent to the main area where the crime, alleged crime would have taken place. So adjacent to that particular wall, we see a big damage, which is likely to be either from a bullet or from a blunt object with a small striking surface, we call. So that we have been seeing. And the food materials which he has been eating, he has been off way. That means there is half of the food in the bowl has been completed, other have been left out, and part of the food is driven on it's been lying on the floor. And all the clothes, bags in the storeroom, in the bedroom, and the living room had been striven apart. So this is hardly we see in the cases of suicide. All this lead us to the suspicion that this is most unlikely because we have the substance, we can substantiate our claims. This is unlikely to be a suicide. But whereas for them to say suicide, they have no substance to prove. This is where the larger doubt is. And apart all this, we also, the family has also done a second autopsy. The details may not be revealed at this stage because we are awaiting the so-called medical examiner's report. Once that is out, definitely there are many things to come out after that.
Now, where is the postmortem report? Was there a postmortem? If there was a postmortem, where is the report? And why do you think there is no postmortem report yet? Do you think there's an attempt to hide the truth in this case from the beginning, right? You said that when... Yes. There was no response from Suchir. When the police went inside the house, when the examiners went inside, in 15 minutes they concluded that it's suicide. They came out, case closed, correct. Right? Body was handed back to the family. Is that correct?
Correct.
Is that what happened?
Yeah.
Isn't it unusual?
Yeah, see. Yeah, you see, what it is not only unusual. See, for me, handling cases in US is not new. This is a strange case what I've been experiencing, especially in this case. Imagine, the autopsy report, the findings of the autopsy is not been released. The ballistic examination has not been released. The GSR swabs, the outcome of the GSR swab is not released. And before all this official examination, analysis and release of these reports are out, they are able to conclude that it's a case of suicide. And above all these things, no fingerprints taken. CCTVs has not been seized. And even the crime scene has not been seized. It has been immediately handed over to the family for the reasons unknown. So without any of the scientific reports, they coming into a conclusion it's a suicide. It's indeed a mockery of the criminal justice system. Unfortunately, it's happening in a state like United States of America. But whereas for us to claim that it is a homicidal, we have so many circumstantial evidence to prove which you already shown in the television. But beside this, I can confidently say we have still more evidences which we are going to release on the right time.
Okay, while I stay on these pictures, just to tell our viewers a little bit about the OpenAI whistleblower. Suchir Balaji went public. He was with OpenAI for several years. He went public saying that OpenAI, makers of ChatGPT, had serious copyright violations, charges that they were facing. When he quit, he went public with that. He gave a few interviews and he was suspiciously found dead at his home. Was it a suicide or was it murder? Now, this is for the first time that the crime scene video is out, and details of the report prepared by Professor Dinesh Rao, accessed by Republic TV. Those are pictures of Suchir Balaji, the Indian American, on the left of your screen, along with his parents, Purnima and Balaji. And on the right of your screen, that's the apartment in San Francisco where he was found dead. You're saying that there are large chunks of hair. My last question to you is, if you can quickly, in about 30 seconds, answer that question, Professor Rao. You're saying that there are large chunks of hair that are still on the crime scene. Does it add up? Why would any examiner leave that behind?
So that is really shocking. You rightly pointed out. And beside, another very important thing I want to tell you, as you said, the motive is possibly related to the work. The other more important thing is certain of his pen drives are missing from his house. So this is another very important thing which has to add up. So the large chunks of hair, we want why it was not examined. And even the earbuds which has been striven apart, one of the earbuds contains a chunk of hair and also blood stains. Besides this, damage to the wall by a sharp or a object with a small striking film, maybe a bullet, possible, but we don't know. It has to be examined. What we ask is a fair and a scientific investigation. And without having available investigative reports, how did they come into conclusion? Rather, we have all the evidences, circumstantial evidences to prove that it is unlikely to be a suicide.
Okay, thank you, Professor Dinesh Rao. Thank you for joining us.